This, for some reason, makes me uncomfortable, yet also really happy.
Alexasunshine 83, it's always sunny here.
Hey Sunshiners, alexasunshine 83 here. Hello, hello, happy sunny day, what is up? So, I have officially moved. John and I and the kitty cats have moved, and I figured I would make a video kind of like explaining our moving, where we moved, why we moved, and then also an empty home tour. Well, it's like kind of empty, which we'll get into in just a sec, but I felt like just doing a chill update type of video because I've kind of like hinted that we were moving, and then we ended up moving 2 weeks earlier and in kind of a rush because our apartment, there was something going on, so we had to get out quite fast. So I figured to kind of explain a little bit more, I would do this video. And I know for myself, I freaking love like home tours, apartment tours, decorating, and all that jazz. So I really kind of wanted to milk us moving into this new space and really making it a home, because the previous apartment, you know, it was home, but it wasn't like home. I thought it would also be really fun to kind of sit down and go through like my Pinterest, my saved Instagram posts, and also just like websites in general that give me home decor inspiration, and kind of chat to you what I want to do with the space, because I'm very, very indecisive and I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts and to also just chat about it in general. So I'm gonna break this up into 3 different parts if you want to kind of skip around and all that jazz. So where did we move? Why did we move? It's a little complicated. I mean, it's probably not complicated, but in my head, it just seems complicated. We need to go back a year ago before John and I moved into the apartment that we were in. I was living in my dad's house, and I was kind of taking up like 2 rooms. One of them was my bedroom, and then the other one was my office. And I had lived at that house, I think for like a year and a half, and obviously half of that was when quarantine happened and lockdown. And although I mainly lived there by myself, my dad and stepmom would stay over quite frequently. I mean, it was their house, so obviously they wanted to stay at their house, so everything in the house wasn't mine. But of course, as John and I were kind of like figuring out, you know, getting married and like what our next steps were, we knew we needed a space where it was just us. Again, because it was kind of the beginning of COVID and quarantine, the like health and safety of like being in the house with other people definitely raised some concerns. And then also, I really wanted a freaking cat so bad, and at that point I couldn't have a cat in the house because my dad and stepmom had 4 dogs, and it also didn't make sense to have an animal that would only be able to be in one room. That just didn't seem fair. So we decided to move into the apartment that we have been in for the past year. We moved in August 2020, and we hadn't seen the apartment. Again, COVID, all that jazz. The day we got our keys was when we saw it, and obviously we saw photos and that kind of thing, but I think at that point we were really trying to get out of the house that I was currently in, and so many apartments didn't have any openings, so we just kind of rushed it a little bit. And I definitely realized within the first week that the space just didn't jive, like the vibes and all that jazz. Number one, because the lighting was literally terrible. Like by 11 a.m. it was basically dark in the apartment. As somebody that literally makes YouTube videos for a job and really loves natural light, honestly, in general, sunshine, I gotta have the sun, it really made it difficult. Again, not the end of the world. I made it work as much as I could. That was something I knew when we ended up leaving would be a priority, is having good lighting and good windows. And I'm gonna talk about just like the little things that I'm just like, oh, didn't like that, didn't like that. But I wanna just stress that it's an apartment. All of these little things are very common apartment things. I'm just explaining little things that kind of like kept adding on as to why we wanted to leave the apartment. But number 2 is it was very gray. The walls were gray, the ground was gray, and because it didn't get good lighting, like it was just a gray, dark place. And I personally have found that I very much dislike the color gray. Also, it was really loud. Our unit was right by the pool, which was fine in the beginning, but obviously as, you know, summer started coming around, very loud kids playing in the pool, again, totally makes sense. Like, live your best life. That's not a problem. But it was just really loud. And then we also did live by an airport, which I did not realize. So literally, I am telling you, every time I filmed, there were moments where I would have to quickly try to rush through because in 5 minutes, like, another plane was gonna go off. I filmed one time where I literally clocked it. Every 3 minutes, a plane would come over the apartment. And also, trash day was every day. Literally, the trash truck, garbage truck, I guess you could say, came every single day of the week. And so just all those combined, it was so loud. Also, you know, neighbors, which you live in an apartment, pretty normal for loud neighbors. Nothing major or anything, although one of them did get a drum set. So a culmination of, you know, little things. Again, like I said, I don't know if it's like this everywhere else, but our rent goes up every year. So it didn't really make sense with all those combined to then pay more for the apartment when we were already like unhappy. I was looking at different apartment complexes in town. I live in like a suburb, so not the cutest. Like, I follow a lot of people that live in LA and New York City, and their apartments are just like so cute. Unfortunately, that really ruined my expectations of what an apartment should look like. And the one that we were in was actually one of the cheapest ones. So all the other apartments, it's not that they were nicer. They weren't nicer. They were then just more expensive. So with that, I started looking at renting a house. And as many of you know, the housing market is crazy right now. So literally there are no houses for rent where I live. All of them are for sale, and they're for sale for like an insane amount of money. We aren't really at a place that we would even be able to buy a house or anything. I don't really know where we're gonna end up, if we are going to stay kind of where we live now or move somewhere else. So that brings us into where I lived a year ago in the house. My dad and stepmom ended up fully kind of moving out, so the house was empty and they aren't at a point where they were going to be selling. I ended up talking with my dad and we worked up an agreement for me to actually rent the entire house. So we were paying for it and everything, but this way we have the entire house instead of, you know, only having certain rooms, and we can have cats now because nobody is living in the house. So that is where I am. I'm in the original house I lived in a year ago, but now like I have the whole house, because before I never really showed it because it was filled with stuff that wasn't mine. It just didn't, you know, make sense. Now it is, well, it's empty, but also not empty, because we, like I said, we're supposed to move like gradually in like 2 weeks, not really in a rush, but something happened with our apartment where we literally found out 5 days before that we needed to get most of our stuff out of the apartment. So it's been such a freaking rush. And so the house technically still has my dad and stepmom's stuff that they're getting out. So when I do the empty house tour, it is kind of filled with their stuff still. It's in a corner and that type of thing. And also like we're slowly moving in. So, you know, it's a before, if you will. I will be doing a like proper after probably in a couple months, because it's gonna take me a little bit to kind of decorate it and organize it and that kind of thing. But just to give like context as to where I'm at, and to also just kind of loop you guys in to a little bit more of my personal life, I figured I would show you all it now. And also I'm just really excited for what I'm able to actually create, because again, going from an apartment to a house is a really big difference. And I definitely recognize like my privilege of being able to rent out a house, especially right now when like, again, the housing market is absolutely crazy. So let me show you to our new home. I'm gonna make this part a little bit of like a vlog-ish style, just because it's not super glamorous or anything. And I want to show you the like empty house tour before I show you my inspiration, so you can understand kind of where I'm talking about. One note is the walls. I feel like it's not showing up on camera, but they're like this beige cream yellow. Not my favorite. I have painted 2 of the rooms, so like one of them is my office and one of them is my bedroom, and then the other 2 rooms that I used to live in are also painted white from when I originally lived here. I went back and forth about like painting more walls, which I eventually may, but if you've ever painted before, it's freaking hard, and I probably won't paint like the entire house, just because if we end up moving in a year or something, it just doesn't make any sense. So when we first come in, there's like this little corner area. Like I said, my dad and stepmom's stuff is still here, so all this is there. This is just gonna be used as like a workout area because we aren't gonna have a TV over there. So we have a little TV right there. From there, we go into this like little nook area. We just have a bathroom, which is, I mean, pretty basic. There's nothing very interesting about it. I would love, I don't know, I've gone back and forth, don't want to paint it, thought about maybe doing some wallpaper, but that also seems like a lot of work. But I feel like bathrooms are such a missed opportunity for decor. So I'm kind of thinking maybe adding some like art on the wall or just some funky things. So not really sure yet what I want to do with that. And then we go into my office of where I've been basically filming for the past like 3 videos. And this room I did paint again. It's not fully done, just in regards with decor and everything. Amazing light. This though, because of where it faces, it's amazing light basically like my apartment. When it hits like 11 a.m., 12 p.m., it usually gets a little bit darker, but because there are 3 big windows, it's not as intense. And then also I have another office upstairs that I will be using for if I'm filming after like 12 p.m. This room is technically more for like outfit type of stuff just because it's very echoey. So this is more of like outfits, that kind of thing. That's why I want a blank wall. And again, if I have the ability by having, you know, a room to be used for that, then why wouldn't I guess I forgot to say it. This house is a 4-bedroom house with an office. So definitely way more space than John and I need. And I don't even know if we'll honestly use it all. Although John will have an office, which is really nice because he's basically just been working in the kitchen. Then we go into the living room area. Yeah, it's that TV is not our TV. So we'll be going, we have some of the couch stuff here right now, my little chair. I will be getting a couch or using the same couch. We'll talk about it in a sec, but this is what kind of this little area. I've already put some, you know, plants and that kind of thing. And then the kitchen area, pretty basic. I have some plans for it, so we will kind of come back to this. This table is not ours, so it will be going. And then we have the dining room, which this is the thing that I'm most excited for. Again, literally all of their stuff is still here, so this will be completely empty. Growing up, all I ever really wanted was to sit at a dining table and like talk with the person that I'm with. So I'm really excited about that room. I'm currently trying to find the like perfect dining table. We go up the stairs here. We have some boxes lining the stairs because Autumn kept walking on the other side and literally giving me a heart attack. So we may have to buy some sort of like mesh. It's not gonna be pretty, but it's gonna be practical. So then over here, we have my old office space. Oh. This one will be part of the office makeover. There's a lot that needs to be done. I basically just have my desk in here and that's kind of it, but this will be kind of my filming space again, which it's kind of like nice and like nostalgic to be back here, to be honest, just because there are so many good memories and there's so much nature around, which is so nice. It's such a small thing where you look out your window and you see a tree and it just like brings me so much joy. And I won't show it too much just because you've technically already seen it. Is then another door over here, which is another room. This one doesn't have anything in it right now. The bathroom where I desperately need to figure out what my organization for it is. And then the little bathroom in here. We then go into this room. This mattress will be going, it's not ours. There is then this room, which this will be kind of like John's office. And here I will be probably painting it white for him in like a month or so. But nothing really going on with that. And then our master bedroom, which I just painted like a week ago. This is what it's looking like, a little air mattress, little kitty part. We got our little side tables. This rug, I'm going to find a funkier rug. This was just for in the meantime because there's like a buildup of the carpet. It's kind of weird. So the cats kept attacking it. So we just put a rug in there and then little master bathroom in here. The lighting is amazing. Salem loves bathtubs and so he has been living his best life in this bathtub. And then the closet, which having a master closet obviously is really nice. Not organized. I'm going to like actually organize it based on like color and style. And then I will also be putting some clothes that are in here in the office. This is just all my clothes that I've moved and just like hung up so it's not just in boxes. But this is what she's looking like. This is my side. That's mine. And then this is John's side. And then the cats freaking love it in here. Miss Autumn is right there. Hi, cutie. Hi. And then Salem is somewhere down here. Hi. So like I said, I wanted to take you guys with me on where like my home decor inspiration ideas come from, which is Pinterest, a little bit of Instagram, and then also honestly just from other brands. And Jenny from where I live did this type of video where she kind of talked about, you know, where she finds kind of vintage home decor or like furniture inspirations and that type of thing like a year ago, and I absolutely loved it. I'm first gonna start off with Pinterest because that's where I get most of my like clothing and home decor inspiration. I have an entire, it's called Room, I should probably rename it, Pinterest board that I've had honestly for like 2 or 3 years, I think. So if you scroll all the way down to it, you definitely can see where my like home inspiration was years ago and where it is now. Basically, I would say my dream of like what home decor I love or like the style. Well, number one, I really love Studio Ghibli, people say it differently. Just the look of it and the vibe, it's just so peaceful. And I think said like maybe a year ago that I would love to have like a Studio Ghibli like style like kitchen or something, which I feel like when you think of that, I think of like clutter of like adding personality and that kind of thing. And I think I really go back and forth if I want a lot of like stuff going on or if I want it to be a little bit more like minimal. Here's my Pinterest board. It is going to range from like colorful to then more like minimal. I do gotta say a Parisian, I think it's called, apartment is like my dream. Again, I have really conflicting styles when it comes to home decor where I love color and pastels and again like clutter and that type of thing, but then paired with a Parisian like minimal white, gold, some green in there. So trying to like mix the two together is kind of where I'm at. And I'll talk about kind of the furniture pieces and things I'm kind of looking for as we go on. But some of these aren't necessarily just of like me recreating. It's more like pieces within it that I'm like, oh, that's really cute. Like this one, I really love the checkered rug. I've been seeing a bunch. Oh my gosh, literally this is the rug I want. Because the green one I like, but I already have a lot of green accents, so trying to add color within that would be something like this checkered pink rug. I really want to figure out what I want to do kind of like, well, in my office in general, where my actual like desk is, I need something on the wall, and I'm going back and forth if I want to do like shelving. I just really don't like to drill holes in the wall, so I feel like it makes more sense to just put up like prints and stuff. Another thing I notice is I love a good velvet couch. My goodness, I've been dreaming about a velvet couch for such a long time. This pink one is like my absolute dream color, that blush pink velvet. I'm really trying to find one. It's definitely a little bit hard because then the ones I do have found from like sustainable and ethical like companies are like $4,000, and technically we have a couch like I think it was like $1,000, which is so much money. So it seems really like wasteful to, I mean, we would probably put it on like Facebook Marketplace or that type of thing, but I'm going back and forth if I just want to find like a really cute like blanket or something and try to like add color that way. There is like this modular couch, which is, okay, it's kind of ugly, but then kind of amazing. Obviously, I'm not going to buy it. It's like $6,000. But man, do I love a good like modular couch. This, for some reason, makes me uncomfortable, yet also really happy, and I don't know why. This sofa I saw the other day, and I also am in love with it. I think even something like this, if I could find like secondhand, would be really cool. Obviously not exactly, I'm not gonna find exactly like this, but this kind of like modern, funky piece, I feel like, again, will really mirror the like vibe I'm kind of going for. Kitchen wise, I'm very conflicted about that as well because I really want to do something funky, but then I don't want to paint. I also forgot to show, I have like a coffee nook where our like Nespresso is and our coffee cups and that kind of thing, and I really want to make that space really cute. I may try wallpaper right there, but I also don't know because it's like, is that kind of a waste just in that little corner? Also, for the dining room, this is probably the biggest thing that I am most excited about, which I've already kind of said, is just having a dining room in general, but I really, really want a circle dining table. I don't know why, but it just makes me so freaking happy and I want it so bad. Moving into Instagram, I don't have like as much or anything just because I use Pinterest so much. Honestly, I kind of usually just follow people that have really good home decor. So like with this one, the background table gives me so much inspiration. I really love how there's like mismatched chairs. I think seeing somebody else style it in a different way, because I think naturally I'd be like, oh, you have to put chairs that match and all that jazz. For anyone that is kind of in the same boat as me when it comes to rugs, where you want to find like really cool handmade rugs, there's an Instagram account called Cool Ruggings, and it basically highlights different handmade rugs Instagram accounts that like are for sale. So I recently just found this today and it's literally filling me with so much inspiration. This account, Sam's Hurl, I think Samantha Klein, she has amazing home decor. Like, are you freaking kidding me? The most like pastel dreamy vibes. I freaking love it. And actually the little bookshelf in the back I am wanting to find so freaking bad for my office. I just really love kind of that specific style of bookshelf, but I always like looking at her stuff to get inspiration. And also the Instagram account Residence Objects, they have amazing vintage pieces if you live in Southern California, LA area. I think they ship to like different obviously like states and stuff, but they have really awesome stuff, really nice just vintage decor. Also, this vintage account I actually really love. It's Peachy PNW Finds. There are some really cute stuff. That's kind of like my overall inspirations. I thought maybe I would have a better like time explaining what I want, but I think it perfectly describes that I don't know what I want. Please let me know in the comments down below. I'm totally open for anything, and definitely the like after home tour will be in a couple of months because I really want to kind of take my time and not like rush things or buy things that I don't actually like. Again, take you guys along with me as I go to different thrift stores and that type of thing. So if you are excited to see that, then make sure to subscribe right down below and hit that little bell to be notified every time I make a new video. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram, alexasunshine83, to keep up to date with me during the week. Hope you have a super sunny day. Enjoy life, be happy, and I love you lots. Bye!